Welcome to Inside Flow, the podcast where independent creators and entrepreneurs connect and inspire. I'm Devon Jones, a military veteran turned filmmaker. I found my spark in the military, and now I'm here to help you find yours. Inside Plug is a platform for your voice, stories to be shared, and ideas to flourish. Let's dive in and plug into creativity and entrepreneurship together. Today on our podcast, we have Ben Redgrave. He's the director from Manchester, United Kingdom. He worked on the graduation project at the IC Theatre in the UK. He worked on a short film called Drama Queens. He done some acting in a film called Crossroads, which was produced by Mahoney Films. And he also worked on a documentary called Sounds of the City. Ben, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So you have quite a bit of a portfolio so far. If you've been working on, you worked on a documentary, short film, you did some work in the theater. So on this, could you bring us back from the beginning? So how did you get started with, directing and acting and getting into the film world?
It's an interesting question. Where do I start? So I did business studies in college. So a complete U-turn when it came to industry and career choice. I've always been fascinated with films and filmmaking, so I decided to, once I finished business, I didn't really want to take it further because I feel like when it comes to business especially, it's in every sort of aspect of industry, and I think learning sort of as you go along is the best scenario with business. So I wanted to change it up when I went to university, so I applied for quite a few to do business and carry that on. But then I decided, I think if there's an option for filmmaking, I'd take that option. So I decided to sign up for filmmaking. Hadn't really done anything before that. I did photography and sort of videography in my free time, but it was never anything that, like a short film or like a feature film or anything like that. It was just sort of little snippets, little videos, that kind of thing.
All right. So was it like a production that you seen that kind of sparked that idea, or did someone say, "Hey, would you want to audition for this part?" Or was it a movie that you seen or a theater performance that you seen?
I'd probably say a mix because I do like watching theatre as well. So I'd say it was a mix of watching theatre, going to see theatre a lot, and just watching films a lot. I think I've watched my fair share of of films these days. I watch normally one every Friday. It's nice, relaxing. It's quiet, so it's good to stick a film on. So yeah, that was kind of, I'd say that got me thinking to want to go into university and study it. But it was actually when I got into university when I started to, realise, the different stories you can tell on the big screen. Things that sort of resonate with different people, and there's a lot of stories to be told, so it got me more interested in the development of film and how you create it behind the scenes, because I hadn't seen that aspect of it before.
All right. So let's take us back to your first project. What was your first project, and how did that idea come about?
My first project was a very experimental project. So that would have been my first month, I'd say, in university, sort of the freshers, the start to it. We were given a sort of like a place to go and like an idea for a film, to make a short film. Ours was to go to the train museums around Cheetham Hill in Manchester. But we decided against that, and we decided to do like a pub crawl and film us going around Manchester, trying different drinks, going to different bars. And at first it was pretty frowned upon, I will say. It wasn't, the lecturers weren't happy, but when they saw the film and the finished product, they really, got into it, and we were looking for another one. Unfortunately, we didn't end up making a second, but it was an interesting first start.
Okay. So you have any of your films? Where can the audience check out some of your work? So do you have a page out there, a website?
So I did have a website. It's still under maintenance. I need to get that back up. Normally, it would probably be on my Instagram. I'll check now quickly. I think I do have one of my short films I've done. They're all on a hard drive. They've not been released yet, so I need to get them out.
All right. So in the meantime, check out. You say you have an Instagram. Check out his Instagram, and then he'll keep you updated once he gets the films up there, so you guys can check it out. So you worked on a film called Drama Queens. Could you discuss a little bit about that project? How did you get a part of that project, and what role did you play?
Yeah, so I worked with a small film crew on like an action thriller short film with a few filmmakers from my university back in, it was about November, no, it would have been February of 2023, I think it was. And I met an actress who worked on IC Theatre. She was studying drama and contemporary dance, I think it was. So they basically were given an assignment to create a film, a 30-minute sort of contemporary dance, sort of like a story that resonated with them. So they were told to do this film, but they're all actors, so they don't know the behind the scenes directing, producing, sort of, runners, first AD, cinematographers. They don't know all of that stuff, so they then had to reach out to us and find their own crew. So I was offered the role of cinematographer, which is a role that I took further in university. It was directing at first, but I liked the whole sort of composing shots aspect of the filmmaking and sort of like the artsy feel that it gives you when you're just on the camera, coming up with ideas to create new shots.
All right, interesting. So you were the cinematographer of that project, and was that your first project that you were the cinematographer for?
I'd say outside of university, yes. I think it was.
Well, that's awesome. All right. So after Drama Queens, is there any project that you're currently working
on? So I did do a horror short film with a friend that had to be shot on a phone. It was very minimal equipment, so we used like a really cheap tripod. And yeah, like I said, my phone. I was the cinematographer for that as well. We submitted that to, I think it's Grimfest. It's like a film festival for horror films. I don't know if it's all around England. I think it's just up north, sort of northern England. But that came second, I think. So we were runners up for the prize of that. But that's on my Instagram page. Actually, I do have that film.
And nice, congratulations.
Thank you.
There you go. So you guys made second place in the film festival. Are you going to submit it to any more festivals?
Yes, it's something we've not really looked too much into. Life has kind of gotten in the way of everything that we've tried to put out for festivals. But at the moment, I am writing a film. Still very early stages. But that's sort of the projects I'm leading with at the moment, because I have more time for sort of script writing instead of taking weeks or months out of work to be able to sort of film something, if that makes sense.
Actually, no, that makes perfect sense. All right. So when you're not doing films, right, and you have like a creative process to generate ideas or think of your next project. Do you have like a routine? Do you do like, what do you do to kind of get it in the creative mode?
Oh, that's a good question. My routine is sort of all over the place in terms of creative wise. So I've been working a sales job for the last 2 months, just to sort of, get money in my pocket and to maybe put down for a future film that I work on. Obviously, one that I'm writing for right now. It's good to save up for a bit of finance for that. Creative wise, I've always wanted sort of different elements of industry, different sectors of industry to be a part of. I wouldn't want to just work on one thing because I'm very easily become bored. So, like I said, I do a bit of directing and cinematography sort of freelance. But I've really got into script writing at the minute, and I'm trying to sort of progress in that just to keep sort of my mind busy and also as a little hobby. And then if it gets picked up, it gets picked up. If not, it's something, any stories that I, like to tell that are personal to me, it's something I can sort of get in the works in the future.
Nice. Love it. All right. So I asked this question to pretty much every guest that comes onto the show. If you could recommend a book to read, a TV show to watch, or a film to watch for new, inspiring, filmmakers, screenwriters, whatever it is that they're trying to do, anything that you would recommend for them?
I don't really read, I have to say. I've not read a book in a long time. But a selection of books I will say is very interesting, especially for like a creative mindset, is I think it was Enid Blyton's The Famous Five and Secret Seven books. I don't know if you've heard of them. No, I think they are for kids. I'm not really too sure. Like I say, it's been a while since I've read a book, but they are very. I remember reading them when I was young, and that kind of, I could sort of envision like the story in my head as I was reading it, and it sort of really helped me creatively and got me into English of all things when it came to studying in school. But in terms of a TV show, I'd say there's a lot of TV shows out there, isn't there? It's a tough question. TV show. I'm very into the Peaky Blinders sort of drama kind of shows. Trying to think. I don't know if you've seen Afterlife, the Ricky Gervais one on Netflix. That's a very sort of fun and interesting concept. To quite depressing story, but it's that's a good one to recommend. And a film, I'd say Midnight in Paris.
In Paris, yes.
I like the artsy look to the film, sort of, how I think it was Darius Conji that selected the shots and was the cinematographer for that film, but very, very well written, very well shot.
Nice. All right. In cinematography and directing and the experience that you have so far, what are some of the obstacles that you had to overcome, and how did you deal with that?
Well, obstacles, I'd always say lighting is a big obstacle. It's very, like, having an idea for a shot is so clear, but then the mechanical side of it and sort of the lighting, and maybe if you want a lot on the camera to change the sort of colour of the image, it's all very, very hands-on and very trial and error in a sense. So I kind of, when I have faced lighting difficulties or sort of nature difficulties, if I've been shooting outside, I kind of just roll with what I can control, and then anything that's sort of out of my control I kind of avoid, and just hope that what I can shoot that's available to me works. And then we see what happens after that in the edit.
Well, all right, so before we head out, is there anything that you want to tell the guests and the audience that's watching that's, new to filmmaking, they're trying to get their feet wet, they're ready to step into that door? Any words you want to give them before they head in?
Oh, I'd say try and make films that resonate with you. It doesn't have to be necessarily personal, but something that you're very much interested in or passionate about. I think that definitely keeps the motivation, because films, can be for whatever reason delayed, or it can take a long period of time to make. It's not a very fast sort of easy fix. It's a very longed out process from the script and pre-production to the editing of the film. So to keep that motivation, it needs to be something, I think, that's passionate or, holds some maybe personal significance to someone. I think that's always important. And I'd say stories that haven't been told yet, and especially experimental films where, you know, there is a story, but it's kind of underlying. There's a lot of, you know, foundation to the film and a lot more going on than just the story that's sort of in front of you when you watch it.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, everyone. That was Ben Redgrave. He's a director and cinematographer from Manchester, United Kingdom. Thank you so much, Ben. All right. Thanks for tuning in to Insight Plug. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and found it inspiring. Remember, every journey begins with a single step, and every creator has a story worth sharing. If you love what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on insightplug.com. That's www.insightplug2gs.com. Your feedback helps us bring you more content. Until next time, keep creating. Devon Jones signing off. Stay inspired.